Okay, let's dive in. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take source material, articles, maybe research papers, whatever's out there,
Mhm.
and we really try to strip away the noise.
Yep. Cut through to the core insights.
Exactly. To help you get informed quickly and hopefully, learn something interesting too.
And we're here to guide you through it, sort of pointing out what really matters and how it all connects.
So for this deep dive, our source is an article from the BBC. It's about the singer Jessie J, revealing she's been diagnosed with early breast cancer.
Right.
And our mission today really is to unpack the key takeaways from this piece. Not just the headline news, but what it tells us about, well, navigating an early breast cancer diagnosis. We're drawing on her story, but also the expert comments in the article itself. And we're thinking particularly about someone who might be, pretty new to understanding this whole topic.
That's a great angle. Because the source gives us both things, doesn't it? A very human story, very personal, but it also really underlines some critical public health points that, frankly, affect
I
everything.
mean, we see headlines constantly, right? But do we always stop and think, what's the real context here? What are the deeper meanings?
Not always, no.
And this story about Jessie J, or Jessica Cornish, the article uses her real name too.
Yeah.
It gives us a lot to chew on, especially, like we said, if you're trying to get a handle on what an early diagnosis might mean.
It certainly does. The article mentions she's 37, and she announced this on Instagram back around June 13th, 2024.
And the thing that really jumps out, and she pointed this out herself, is that one word, early.
Mm-hmm.
The quote in the piece is, "Cancer sucks in any form, but I'm holding on to the word early."
And focusing on that word, that's such a crucial insight right there. For anyone new to cancer diagnoses, the stage, it's fundamental.
Right.
Finding it early, like she highlighted, usually means it's smaller, hasn't spread as much, hopefully.
Okay.
And that generally means it's more treatable. The article really implies, just by her focus on that word, how much hope and significance is tied up in early detection.
Yeah, that makes sense. It sort of sets the tone. And what comes next for her, according to the article, is a pretty intense plan, right?
Okay.
She announced surgery. But after performing at Capitol Summertime Bowl later that month.
It's quite something, isn't it? A huge public performance.
Yeah.
Immediately before a major, very private medical procedure that shows, well, some serious determination.
Absolutely. And she did say after the surgery, she'd need a break. She needed to, quote, disappear for a bit. The article even includes her trying a bit of dark humor.
Yeah.
They're calling it a very dramatic way to get a boob job and planning to come back with massive tits and more music.
Which is such a human reaction, isn't it? When faced with something so heavy.
Definitely.
It's rarely just one feeling. There's often that mixed fear, seriousness, but also trying to find lightness, maybe as a way to cope. It just reminds you, navigating this stuff involves the whole range of emotions.
And the article also digs into why. Why go public with something so personal?
Yeah, that's interesting.
She was really direct. She said it was partly to help her process it, admitted she wasn't really dealing with it mentally because she was working so much. The quote is, "I just wanted to be open and share it. One, because selfishly, I do not talk about it enough. I'm not processing it because I'm working so hard."
And that's a really powerful insight, I think, relevant for anyone facing a big health challenge, famous or not. That link between actually saying something difficult out loud
Yeah.
and the process of dealing with it, sharing wasn't just like broadcasting info. It sounds like it was a personal need. Bring it out in the open to actually confront it instead of just burying it under work.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that personal need seems tied to her other reason for sharing, which the article also covers, solidarity.
Oh, right.
She felt moved thinking about others going through the same thing, or even worse. She said, "It breaks my heart that so many people are going through so much similar and worse. That's the bit that kills me."
Yeah, that really speaks to the power of, shared experience, feeling less alone. And the article points out this isn't totally new for her either. She's been open about health stuff before.
Right.
She's quoted saying something like, "I also know how much sharing in the past has helped me with other people giving me their love and support and also their own stories. I'm an open book."
And you can see that connection working. The article lists a whole bunch of celebrities who sent support. Gabby Roslin, Rita Ora, Leanne Pinnock, Leona Lewis,
Quite a list.
Rochelle and Marvin Humes,
Yeah.
Wretch 32, Paloma Faith.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on. And Rita Ora's message, specifically mentioning her own mom's experience
Yeah, I saw that.
and the mental toughness needed.
Yeah.
It just underlines how these connections aren't just superficial, they're really personal and meaningful.
Absolutely. Which reinforces another key takeaway from this whole thing. Seeking and accepting support is vital. It's not weakness, it's part of the process.
Totally. Her asking fans for a hug, asking for their support through this hard time, like they've supported her in good times. It's a powerful reminder that you don't have to do this stuff alone.
Exactly. Community, support networks, they're
Yeah.
just crucial.
She also mentioned briefly that the diagnosis gave her incredible perspective. Just a small line in the article, but quite profound.
Well, yeah, facing something serious like that often does force a kind of reevaluation, doesn't it? What really matters. It can definitely shift your perspective, sometimes dramatically.
Now, the BBC article, it doesn't just stay with the personal story, which is great, especially if you're trying to understand the bigger picture. It brings in expert commentary.
Broadening it out.
Specifically, it quotes Theli Martini, who's the CEO of Breast Cancer UK. And she said Jessie J's openness is inspiring and offers a powerful reminder of the importance of early detection, education, and prevention.
And that's the link, isn't it? The personal story amplifying that wider public health message. Why is early detection and prevention so critical? The article gives the context. Breast cancer is the most common type of cancer for women in the UK. Just that fact alone shows you the scale of it,
Yeah, it's huge.
which makes those early detection efforts just incredibly important for, better outcomes.
Right. And the article follows through with some really practical advice, stuff from Breast Cancer UK. They suggest lowering risk by maintaining a healthy diet, staying active, and reducing alcohol consumption.
And those are concrete things, aren't they? Actionable steps mentioned right there in the source. Things individuals can actually think about doing, moving from just awareness to, lifestyle choices.
Yeah, exactly. And the piece also brings in advice from the NHS website, hammering home how important it is to check your breasts regularly. It quotes the NHS. It's important to check your breasts regularly so you know what's normal for you. This makes it easier to notice any changes in the size, look, or feel of your breasts.
And that bit, knowing what's normal for you, that's such a key detail. Changes aren't always a big lump. It could be subtle things, texture, how it looks, how it feels. So checking regularly means you get familiar with your own body. You're way more likely to spot something unusual early. It's a simple thing, but really powerful. And it's right there in the source.
Yeah. It's also worth noting, and the article mentions this briefly, Jessie J has been open about health stuff before, a heart condition, a stroke, temporary deafness, even ADHD and OCD more recently.
Right. The article includes that, I think, mostly for context, to show her resilience and that she has this history of sharing health information.
Yeah, it frames her current openness. It's not totally out of the blue for her.
Exactly. And the piece also mentions, sort of in the background, her recent work commitments like Radio 2 in the Park or turning down a Broadway role for her son, just background details.
So pulling it all together, what this deep dive into the BBC article really shows us is how one person's decision, a really brave, open decision to share her early diagnosis, becomes this launch pad for really important public health messages. It covers the personal side, processing the news, needing support, solidarity,
Right.
and then, crucially, it echoes those expert calls for early detection and prevention
Yeah.
through awareness and those lifestyle factors.
And like you said at the start, for someone maybe new to this topic, the article works really well. It's got that relatable human story mixed with vital, practical information from experts and organizations. It's all drawn straight from the source.
Absolutely. Yeah, we started with her very personal news, and just by exploring this one article, we've pulled out these wider themes, the huge significance of that word early, the power of sharing and asking for help, and the really practical importance of awareness and prevention that the experts are pushing.
It really demonstrates how a personal narrative can make a critical health message, land with people, make it resonate in a way that maybe dry facts alone wouldn't.
So thinking about all that, let's leave you with this thought, coming straight out of the material we just explored. Jessie J shared her news, partly to process it, partly for solidarity. The experts stressed how vital that openness is for awareness and prevention. So what power do you think really lies in these personal stories? How much can they drive collective action or support around health issues? How does one person opening up actually amplify those crucial public health messages?
Yeah.
And maybe encourage more people to take those simple practical steps the article mentioned, like regular self-checks. Or maybe just encourage people to lean on their own communities when they face tough times.
It's that ripple effect, isn't it? The impact of vulnerability, of sharing our experiences. Definitely something to think about.